You've been telling yourself the same lie. Tomorrow. Tomorrow I'll change. Tomorrow will be different. But the truth? Tomorrow never comes. In today's video, we're diving into the painful but powerful truth behind real transformation. This isn't just a motivational speech. This is a wake-up call for your soul. If you're tired of waiting, if you're ready to rise, not someday but now, this is the message you've been waiting for. So, before we begin, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a moment of the journey. Let's rise. Together. We whisper it to ourselves like a prayer, a promise we never intend to keep. Tomorrow I'll start. Tomorrow I'll be different. It's comforting, isn't it? The illusion that change is just one sunrise away. We wrap ourselves in this lie like a blanket, hoping it will shield us from the discomfort of facing who we are today. But ask yourself, how many tomorrows have slipped through your fingers like sand? How many second chances have you delayed until they vanished in the rearview mirror of your life? Pain doesn't operate on a schedule. It doesn't wait for your motivation to kick in or your circumstances to align. Neither does regret. They show up uninvited, settle in, and stay far longer than welcome. Like shadows, they move with you, constant reminders of the choices you didn't make, the chances you didn't take. While you're busy making plans for a future version of yourself, they drag you back to the now, not to inspire, but to haunt. The truth is, life doesn't bend to your timeline. It demands your presence, not your promises. There's a moment, sharp or subtle, when you realize something fundamental has shifted. Maybe it hit like a lightning bolt, a late-night call with devastating news, a failure that ripped through your confidence, a betrayal so deep it left your soul aching. Or perhaps it was the slow kind of decay, the one that sneaks in quietly. One compromise here, one delayed dream there, until the person staring back at you in the mirror feels like a ghost of who you were meant to be. The scariest thing about mediocrity is how quietly it arrives. Like fog, it surrounds you before you notice you're lost in it. We're all guilty of waiting for clarity, for strength, for the perfect moment. But here's the reality. The moment will never feel perfect. The beginning will never be easy, and the change you crave won't arrive wrapped in comfort. Power comes in response to a need, not a desire. Goku once said, "You won't rise because you want to. You'll rise because staying down becomes unbearable." That's the first step of transformation, not a new day, but a new decision. Let me make this clear. The depth of your fall isn't the end, it's the beginning. The lower you sink, the more force you build for the rise. Rock bottom is not a grave, it's bedrock. It's the unshakable surface where all illusions are stripped away, and all that remains is truth. And from that truth, you rebuild. When the noise fades and the distractions vanish, you finally hear what matters. That's when you see who's truly in your corner. Not when you're thriving, but when you're crawling. Most importantly, that's when you meet the unfiltered version of yourself. Not the version curated for the world, but the one who survives when everything else breaks. Yes, you've fallen. Yes, you've failed. So what now? What's your move? The world isn't interested in your excuses. It's waiting for your answer. This is your crossroads. You can choose to stay curled up in the comfort of self-pity, or you can rise, battered but unbroken, and claim the life that pain tried to steal from you. A lesson without pain is meaningless, said Edward Elric from Full Metal Alchemist. Brotherhood. He was right. Every scar you carry is a map, and the destination is your strength. The question isn't whether you've been knocked down, it's whether you have the guts to get back up. Real change, soul-deep, identity-shifting change, isn't gentle. It doesn't happen with affirmations alone or overnight epiphanies. It's violent, not in the sense of harm, but in the way fire reshapes metal. It burns away what no longer serves you. It forces you to confront the parts of yourself you've ignored, to let go of who you were in order to become who you must be. Think of the caterpillar. Its transformation into a butterfly isn't a graceful transition. It's chaos. Inside the cocoon, everything dissolves. It becomes nothing before it becomes something. That's the blueprint. If you're uncomfortable, if everything feels like it's falling apart, maybe that's the point. Maybe that's your rebirth in progress. And know this, resistance will come. From the outside, there will be people who try to clip your wings because your growth reminds them of their stagnation. They'll say you've changed, as if that's a flaw. But the real battle? It's internal. The most dangerous enemy is the one living in your head, the voice that says, play it safe, don't risk it, you're not enough. That voice? It's a liar dressed in familiarity. It speaks in the tones of your past, but it does not speak your future. As Lelouch from Code Geass once said, if the king doesn't move, then his subjects won't follow. You are the king of your life. The next move is yours. Most comebacks don't fail because people lack strength. They fail because people expect the process to be painless. They want change that feels convenient, growth without growing pains, and transformation without the tearing down of what's familiar. But the truth? Growth is almost always uncomfortable. It challenges your routines, it breaks your habits, and it demands sacrifice. People often want the outcome, but they don't want the repetition. They admire the peak without climbing the mountain, but the summit only welcomes those who embrace the storm, not those who wait for perfect weather. Greatness is born, not in applause, but in solitude. It's not in the spotlight, but in the shadows. It lives in the 5 a.m. wake-up calls when your body begs you to stay in bed. It thrives in the final rep when your arms are trembling and your breath is short. It's in the page you write when your mind is blank, in the cold runs, the quiet sacrifices, the daily discipline that nobody claps for. That's where champions are made. As All Might once said in My Hero Academia, it's fine now. Why? Because I am here. But before he could stand for others, he stood alone in his grind, committed in silence when no one was watching. Something shifts when you stop asking the world for permission to rise. When you stop waiting for someone to acknowledge your worth before you decide to pursue your potential. The most powerful comeback doesn't shout for validation. It speaks in action, in consistency, in quiet defiance of the limitations once placed on you. This isn't about proving the doubters wrong. It's about proving yourself right. It's about honoring the fire within you that never quite went out, even when everything else did. Every setback, every delay, every crushing defeat, you carried your potential through it all. And that wasn't luck. That was resilience. That was preparation disguised as pain. That's what high performers understand. What feels like punishment is often just training. Think of Ippo Makunouchi from Hajime no Ippo. Every blow he took, every time he was knocked down, was a lesson written in bruises. But he got up stronger. So will you. You've been collecting pieces of your comeback for a long time now. It's time to assemble them. There will be days ahead where everything feels uphill. Days where your old patterns call you back, seductive in their comfort. Days where doubt screams louder than belief. But those aren't signs that you're failing. They're signs that you're evolving. They're pressure points designed to forge you, not break you. Each challenge is an invitation to dig deeper, to activate a layer of strength that's been dormant until now. Your discomfort is your teacher, and your endurance, that's your edge. Transformation doesn't move in a straight line. It spirals. You'll find yourself facing familiar battles, but this time with new weapons. You'll return to old fears, but with wiser eyes and a steadier heart. The difference now is that you know the terrain. You've walked through fire and come out scarred, yes, but also tempered. This isn't a reset. This is a rebuild. Stronger, smarter, more relentless than ever. So lean into the fire. Embrace the resistance. Welcome the discomfort. Not because pain is some twisted badge of honor, but because beyond it lies the version of you that's been waiting to emerge. The version that doesn't flinch, that doesn't fold, that knows exactly what they're capable of. Suffering is not the destination, but the passage. It strips you of the unnecessary, burns away the lies, and reveals the diamond beneath the pressure. As Tanjiro from Demon Slayer shows us, strength isn't just about power, it's about heart. The refusal to back down even when the odds are merciless. That's what you're building now. A heart that can't be broken, only refined. The world doesn't need another lukewarm effort or a timid step forward. It doesn't need more people dipping their toes into transformation. It needs you, all of you. Your full commitment, your full rise, and not in spite of your pain, but because of it. Your scars are not blemishes. They are blueprints. Your lowest moments weren't detours. They were the crucible. This is your resurrection. You're not here to return to who you were. You're here to become who you were meant to be, forged by the very things that once tried to destroy you. It all begins the moment you stop letting your past set the rules. The second you decide that what comes next isn't going to be a continuation of your old story, but the start of something completely new. That moment, it's now. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. What separates those who change from those who stay stuck isn't skill or fate or who got the better start. It's ownership. Relentless, full-spectrum ownership. The kind that says, no more excuses, no more waiting. This is on me now. As Erwin Smith from Attack on Titan once demanded of his soldiers, dedicate your hearts. You must do the same to your own future. Ownership means the blame stops here. No more pointing outward. No more hiding behind circumstances or waiting for life to give you permission. The comeback you're crafting isn't a passive recovery. It's a conscious construction. It's not just about reacting to what's happened. It's about intentionally shaping what comes next. And that creation demands everything mediocrity never asks for. Presence. Deep, unwavering presence. When you train, you show up with intensity. When you rest, you do it without guilt. When you plan, you do so with clarity. And when you execute, when it's time to move, you go all in. Not halfway, not almost. Fully. This isn't just your comeback, it's your arrival. This kind of presence, the kind where every action is aligned with your deepest intention, creates something rare. Momentum. And once momentum is in motion, it becomes almost impossible to stop. There's a quiet force behind consistent alignment when your private grind reflects your public declarations. When who you are, in silence, echoes who you claim to be when the spotlight's on. That's when you stop chasing motivation and start living from identity. As Goku from Dragon Ball Z once said, power comes in response to a need, not a desire. And when your need to grow becomes non-negotiable, your actions follow suit, day in, day out. This alignment breeds a rare kind of authority, not over the world, but over yourself. True self-mastery. It's what separates those who rise for a season from those who stay elevated for a lifetime. You build it slowly, deliberately, in the tiniest of choices, showing up when it's inconvenient, pushing forward when it's easier to pause, telling the truth when lying would save face. Decision by decision, brick by brick, you become someone even you can trust, and that kind of trust in yourself is priceless. It's what gives you the courage to go further, even when no one's watching, especially then. But don't be fooled. The world won't step aside for your breakthrough. It will challenge it. It will dress old fears in new disguises, tempt you with shortcuts, and whisper doubts just loud enough to hear. But now, you recognize the game. You see the detours for what they are. Tests, not punishments, but confirmations. Every time you stay the course, you affirm to yourself that this isn't a phase. This is permanent. This isn't a detour from who you were. It's the arrival of who you were always meant to be. The world throws distractions, and you respond with clarity. That's power. Here's the truth most won't tell you. Your comeback isn't one shining moment. It's not one speech, one win, one finish line you get to cross and never look back from. It's a pattern of rising, again and again and again. It's not about being unbreakable. It's about choosing to rebuild every single day. Every time life knocks you down, you rise not as the person you were, but as someone more refined, more grounded, more powerful. Just like Ken Kaneki and Tokyo Ghoul, who said, I'm not the protagonist of a novel or anything, but if you just keep on fighting, you can still win. And that's exactly what this is, a fight worth showing up for every single day. The difference now is that you understand what transformation truly demands. You no longer panic when the path spirals, you expect it. You know strength is born through pressure, that your ability to rise is directly linked to your willingness to face the things that once shattered you. And because of that, you're not afraid anymore. You're not resisting the pain. You're learning from it. You're not hiding from discomfort. You're using it to grow. Your comeback? It's not just in what you're doing. It's in how you see now. You see adversity not as cruelty, but as your personal gym, building the emotional, mental, and spiritual muscle others don't see. You no longer label setbacks as defeat. You recognize them as training, disguised in disappointment. This is your new lens. This is your new standard. The old version of you might have flinched, might have folded, but not anymore. Now you rise, not just once, but every time. What you once saw as failure, you now recognize as redirection. The missed chances, the painful critiques, the doors that closed, they weren't rejections. They were refinements. Life has been chiseling away the unnecessary, carving you into something sharper, clearer, more aligned with your purpose. Criticism isn't a judgment, it's a mirror. It reflects what needs strengthening. Just like a blade is tempered by fire and beaten into form, so too have you been shaped by every setback. This isn't about perfection, it's about becoming unshakably real. And once your perception shifts, everything else does too. Because when you change how you see your path, you change how you walk it. The weight no longer crushes you, it trains you. The obstacles don't deter you, they define you. Your entire life begins to unfold differently, not because your circumstances are easier, but because your mind is stronger. Like Levi from Attack on Titan, whose silence often spoke more than his sword, you understand that clarity doesn't come from noise, but from deep internal presence. That's the transformation, not just of action, but of vision. Not just of doing, but of being. So rise, not slowly, not cautiously, not tomorrow. Rise now, with the full weight of everything you've lived through. The late nights, the silent tears, the quiet battles no one saw. Rise with the strength built when no one clapped for you. Rise with the insight earned in isolation. Rise with the fire that's been waiting, simmering, biding its time. This isn't just another attempt. This is the one. The full, unapologetic, uncompromising resurrection of the version of you that was always possible. No more half efforts. No more waiting rooms. You're not evolving someday. You're transforming today. Remember this. The deeper the fall, the higher the rise. But it's your presence that determines the reach of your impact. Not just how far you go, but how fully you live. Be here now, fully, in this breath, in this action, in this decision. Don't just show up, arrive. Your transformation doesn't live in some distant horizon. It's already happening, right here, in your willingness to stay with the pressure, stay with the uncertainty, stay with the possibility. The comeback you're crafting isn't just rewriting your future. It's redeeming every moment that brought you here. This isn't a comeback. This is your resurrection. Arise.